Algebra 2 students to the homework help video, page 90, numbers 5 through 19 odd. Please give me your undivided attention. Please work hard and focus, and let's really learn how to master writing linear equations. Okay, numbers 5, 7, and 9, the directions say to write an equation of the line. So here we go. Now, on number 5, notice I do know the y-intercept. Let me pause and say this right now. Anytime that you can find the y-intercept, and don't forget the y-intercept is denoted by the letter B. Anytime you can find the y-intercept, try to use that, okay? And we can tell that the line is passing right through the crosshairs. Right here, the line's passing right through there, okay? So the y-intercept is 6, positive 6. Now let's find the slope. Remember how to find the slope. You have to look for places on the line that go right through these crosshairs, okay? So here's one. It looks like here's one right here. You with me so far? Now, how do you find the slope? Well, rise over run. So you can draw your triangle up and over to the left, or you can draw your triangle over to the left, then up. It really doesn't matter, okay? I'm gonna go up and then over my a little right triangle there, okay? Okay, what is your rise? Put your pin here and do not count until you move. 1, 2, 3. So my rise is 3. Put your pin here, don't count until you move. 1. So my slope, which is denoted by the letter M, is rise over run. And of course 3 over 1 is just 3. Now hold it. Here's the left side of the line, here's the right side. Going from left to right, it's sloping downward, so your slope is negative. Do you remember which formula to use when you know the y-intercept and the slope? Sure you do. It's this formula here. So simple. Where the m is, I substitute negative 3. Where the b is, I substitute 6. And there is your linear equation. Pretty simple. Number 7. I'm not sure, I'm trying to see. Yes, the drawing is off a little bit, and I realize that. But they're saying here, it looks like to me, that this is the y-intercept. Believe me, on a test or a quiz, I will make it very clear. And see, it looks like the line is passing through a crosshairs right here. So you can really say the slope is 1 over 1. And on a test or a quiz, I would give you credit for that because it looks like it. But the back of the book, it's really not supposed to be passing through crosshairs. The other point they wanted you to use, I believe, was right here. Okay? Now you say, Mr. Error, that's not fair. I understand. And believe you me, on a test or a quiz, I will be very clear which 2 points you're going to use. Okay? I will make sure you know the points that pass through a crosshair. Well, remember what I've taught you. Anytime that you know the y-intercept, use it. The line is crossing through the y-axis at 4. So there's your b. Now let's find the slope. You can draw your triangle down and over, or up and over. I'm going to go down and then over. And I've connected my 2 points, this point and this point. I have a little right triangle here. Here's my right triangle right here. Alright, so starting here, I'm going to find the rise. 1, 2, 3, 4. Starting here, I'm going to find the run. Don't count until you move your pencil. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So my slope is rise over run. Here's the left side of the line, here's the right side. It's going upward, so it's a positive slope. So the formula you want to use when you know the y-intercept and the slope is y equals mx plus b. Where the m is, I will substitute 4/5. And where b is, I will substitute 4. By the way, if this had been a negative 4, is everybody listening? Please listen. If b would have been negative 4, do not put, because there's a positive sign here, do not put positive negative 4. We don't do that, okay? That's not simplified. If this would have been a negative 4 right here, then you just put negative 4. It's a positive 4, so we just put positive 4. And there is the answer, okay? Alright, moving on to number 9. And back here on number 5, I just noticed something. The lines were in increments of 2. So really the rise would have been 6, 2, 4, 6, and the run would have been 2. But do you see how it doesn't matter? 6 over 2 is still 3. So that really is irrelevant, okay? Alright, here we go. Looks like I know the y-intercept, so I'm going to use that. My y-intercept is 10. Now let's find the slope. Okay, right there, I'm going to use that point. In order to find the slope, you have to have 2 points. In fact, I'm going to use a different point this time, because in the last 2 problems, I've been using the x-intercept like this. So let's use a different point. There's a crosshair point right there. Now, when you go to find the slope, draw your triangle, okay? Now your rise, look, you can call it 1, 2, and the run is 1, 2. Or if you want to, the same thing, the slope would be 2 over 2. But if you want to use, look, if you notice here, every tick mark is worth 5. Is 5. Every tick mark is worth 5, a value of 5. So really, it's 5, 10. 5, 10. But you see how it doesn't matter? 10 over 10 is still 1. So I don't care for me. I'm just going to count the spaces. 1, 2. 1, 2. So my slope is going to be rise over run, which is 1. Now here's the left side. Here's the right side. It's sloping upward. So my slope is positive. So I know the y-intercept. I know the slope. When you know the y-intercept and the slope, that is when you want to use this formula right here. Okay? So for my m, I'm going to substitute 1. And for my b, I'm going to substitute positive 10. And if you don't want to put the 1 here, if you just want to leave it x plus 10, that's totally fine. Or you can put the 1. That is fine also. Either way is sufficient. Okay? And by the way, I'm checking these in my teacher's edition as I go, and they've all been correct so far. Alright, numbers 11, 13, and 15, the directions say to write an equation of the line containing the given point that has the given slope. So for 11, 13, and 15, notice they're giving you a point and a slope. So I've taught you, whenever you're given a point and a slope, use the point slope formula. Let me go over that again. You've been given a point and a slope. Those 2 things. Whenever you're given a point and a slope, you use this formula right here. This is called the point slope formula. Alright? Now, this is my x, this is my y, and obviously this is your m. So for y subscript 1, I'm going to substitute my y value, which is 3. Then for my m, I'm going to substitute negative 1/2. Now for my x subscript 1, I'm going to substitute 0 for my x. And now let's simplify. Y negative 3 equals, remember, you're finished here, basically. But I always want you to simplify the equation so that y is all by itself. I'm a stickler on that, okay? So, take the negative 1/2 and multiply it through. Negative 1/2 times x is negative 1/2 x. Negative times a negative 0, which really negative positive 0 doesn't matter. Anything times 0 is 0. So we're going to have, you can put plus 0 or minus 0, it doesn't matter. Now I took the 1/2 and multiplied it through. Now get y by itself. Bring the 3 over and make it a what? A positive 3. Obviously, it's a constant term. You do not combine a constant term with an x term. They're unlike terms, okay? So, we combine the constant terms. Our final answer would be negative 1/2 x positive 3. Alright, so there we go. That's the linear equation that contains this information here at this point in this slope. Alright, number 12. Once again, notice they've given us a point and a slope. Anytime you're given a point and a slope, you use this formula right here. And so here we go, okay? This is my x value, this is my y value, and this is my slope. y minus y subscript 1, which is 1. So y negative 1 equals m. I'm going to substitute 10. And then x, this should be subscript 1 here, sorry about that. X minus x subscript 1. Well, my x value is negative 8, so you have x minus a negative 8. Now we should know by now a double negative is a positive. So x positive 8. X positive 8. So now let's multiply our 10 through and then get y by itself. 10 times x is 10x. 10 times 8 is 80. Now bring the negative 1 over, make it a positive 1. Combine constant term with constant term, and you're left with 10x positive 81. Alright, and that is your linear equation. Alright, moving on to number 15. Notice you're given a point and a slope. So the formula you want to use is the point slope formula. Okay, this is my x value, this is my y value. Here we go. Y minus, and your y value is a negative 2, so y minus a negative 2. Of course, makes that a positive 2. For m, I'm going to substitute negative 4/3. And then x minus or negative, then my 1/2. Okay, well, let's get y by itself and we're finished, students. Take the negative 4/3 and multiply it through. Negative 4/3 times x is negative 4/3 x. Please watch your signs here, students. On the next multiplication, negative times a negative is positive. 4/3 times 1/2, well, top times top, 4 times 1 is 4. Bottom times bottom, or denominator times denominator, 3 times 2 is 6. And if you reduce 4 6, you get 2/3. Now, if you struggle with fractions, then with your calculator, type in negative 4 divided by 3 and put parentheses around it. Be sure and put parentheses around it. So parentheses, negative 4 divided by 3. Then hit times on your graphing calculator. Then hit parentheses, negative 1 divided by 2. There you go. Hit enter, and you'll get 0.6 repeating. Then hit math, enter, enter, and positive 2/3 will pop up. If any of you are having problems with your grapher, let me know with emails, and I will help you. Okay, so on the left side I still have y positive 2. Now I'm going to bring the positive 2 over and make it a negative 2. Again, if you struggle, I mean, to be honest with you, hopefully you're okay with figuring this out. I mean, you've got negative 2, you take away 2/3, you're left with a negative 1 1/3 or negative 4/3. Okay, but if you struggle with fractions, I understand that, and that's fine. If you struggle with fractions, then with your calculator, type in 2 divided by 3, put it in parentheses, and then minus 2, and then hit enter, and you're going to get 1.3 repeating, and then hit math, enter, enter, and you'll get negative 4/3 is what your screen will say. And you can put negative 4/3 here. In fact, the answer has negative 4/3. I don't care if you put negative 1 1/3 or negative 4/3. However, listen, your slope should never be written as a mixed number like this. That's really, really kind of like awkward. Okay, you just don't do that in math. Okay, your slope will always be written as a regular fraction, a proper fraction, or an improper fraction, but not a mixed number. All right, number 17. Now, number 17 and 19, they're going to give us 2 points. So I've taught you, whenever you're given 2 points, you still use the same formula. In fact, I'm going to work this problem out twice. And number 19, I'm going to work it out twice also. Maybe I'm going to be a little annoying, but I want to show you guys it doesn't matter which order that you use. Does not matter. Okay, now you are going to have to find the slope on your own. So remember how to find the slope. M equals y minus y over x minus x. So this is an x, this is a y, this is an x, this is a y. Y minus y, 6 minus 15. X minus x, 7 minus 10, or 7, negative 10. So you're left with negative 9, negative your slope is a nice whole number. That's going to be really helpful. Okay, now it doesn't matter which ordered pair you use. I'm going to use this ordered pair for this model, this ordered pair for this model, and you're going to see I get the exact same answer. So here we go. Y minus 6 equals m, which is 3. X minus 7, which is my x value. Now, take your 3 and multiply it through. 3 times x is 3x. 3 times negative 7 is negative 21. Now, bring the negative 6 over, make it a positive 6, and you're left with y equals 3x negative 15 or minus 15. Got it? Okay. Now let's use this point with this slope, and you'll get the exact same answer. Y negative 15, your y value, equals m 3, and then x minus your x value, which is 10. Take your 3 and multiply it through. Y negative 15 equals 3 times x, 3x. 3 times negative 10, negative 30. Alright, now bring your negative 15 over, make it a positive 15, and you're left with y equals 3x, negative 15. It does not matter which ordered pair you use. Alright, number 19. And I guess we should show you the answers, shouldn't we? There we go. Alright, number 19. Again, we're going to use the formula twice. And if you don't want to watch that, you can always fast forward the video or just stop the video. But I'm going to do this twice, just in case there's any concern by any students about whether or not you can choose, that it doesn't matter which point that you use. Okay, now, you've been given 2 points. Whenever you're given 2 points, you use this formula here. However, you must find the slope. So I'm going to do that very quickly. Y minus y goes up top. Here's your y. If I'm going to go backwards, I'm going to put this y first to show you it doesn't matter as long as I put this x first. So y minus y, 1 minus 9. X minus x, 0 minus a negative 9. And of course 0 minus a negative 9 is 0 plus 9. So up top I have a negative 8. In the denominator I have a positive 9. A negative over a positive is a negative. And 8 over 9 is 8 ninths. So there's my slope. Negative 8 ninths. Alright. Now, let's get started. Here we go. I'm going to use this point first. X, y. So y minus 9, my y value, equals m negative 8 ninths. X minus my x value, which is negative 9. Okay, negative is positive. Now take your 8 ninths and multiply it through. Negative times a positive is negative. Negative times a positive is negative. 8 ninths times 9 is 8. 8 ninths times 9 over 1. Your 9's cancel, leaving you with 8 over 1. Or you can use your graphing calculator if you want to. Now bring your negative 9 over and make it a positive 9. And your final answer is negative 8 ninths x positive 1. Okay, there we go. And that is your answer. Alright, now let's use the other point here, right here, and we'll get the exact same answer. Okay, y minus, well, my y value is 1, so y negative 1. For m, I'm going to substitute negative 8 ninths. Then I have x minus, and my x value is 0. Alright, here we go. Take your 8 ninths and multiply it through your negative 8 ninths. Negative times a positive is negative. Negative times a negative is positive. And of course, 8 ninths times 0 is 0. And by the way, it's so easy to make little mistakes. I almost put 8 ninths times 0 is 8 ninths. So that does happen on tests and quizzes. And don't get discouraged. It can happen to anyone. 8 ninths times 0 is 0. Now bring your negative 1 over and make it a positive 1. And your final answer is identical to this answer. Y equals negative 8 ninths x positive 1. video has been a help to you. If you have any questions at all, please don't hesitate to call or email.